I have a weird thought that everything is high school, and I fell in love with theater, during high school, like a lot of people. The cool, eccentric, crazy, wildest people at school were part of theater, and I wanted to be a part of that. And because they did a musical. I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and they did a musical every year at the community college that had high school students from all the different schools. So like I knew people all over Tacoma because of that. So it seemed very, very sophisticated to me to know people from all different high schools. But that was a whole like sort of theater community. And in a the idea that we all come together at 8 o'clock when the curtain goes up, and it has to happen whether it's ready or not, or the flats are painted or the costumes are sewn. It's happening at this time, and there's something about that immediacy that brings people together, and you kind of create, as we all know, these sort of families, these very intense relationships that you feel with people when you're in that kind of situation. I loved that. I loved that it threw us together, and we became like a unit. And when I say everything is high school, it's because that same feeling still comes over me when we do a play. The people at Antaeus, and as well the people in the Los Angeles theater community, we represent and are a very tight knit group of people who really do care about each other and care about what we're doing, care about the art that we're trying to make. And I have always felt like I got to spend my life with the fun, interesting people. I call it pub life. It's like I get to hang out with these guys at the pub after the show, and this is the kind of people I wanted to know, and now I do. So that's why I kind of love the whole theater thing. Now you can talk about art and the power of great writing and all these other things, which are massively important. But just on a kind of personal, emotional level, it was that closeness that comes from working together that drew me in and still does.
For my money, it's a two-way membrane. You don't really have a play until the audience is sitting in the theater with you. You rehearse and you learn and you get better and you fine tune everything. But when an audience comes in, they're a living, breathing part of the play process, and they tell you what the play is in a funny way. Because as an actor, I really look at it from my perspective. As an artistic director, as a teacher, I look at the play as a whole. But as an actor, I look at it from what my character needs and wants, and whether I'm doing Shakespeare or a brand new play out of our Playwrights Lab, it's the same thing. But then the audience comes in and you go, they teach me something every single time. And it's so personal and so intimate. It's the same kind of relationship you would have with a lover, sort of, it's so immediate, and you can't get away from that immediacy. And it's a place where you can fail big or you can soar big in a way that you don't. When you're doing film and television, you sometimes the crew will laugh after the take or something, but it's not the same. It's not that same. You're breathing each other's air. Boy, I wish we could be breathing each other's air right now. You're experiencing the thing in the moment together. And I've had times on stage with Bill where we were as close as I am with my husband of almost 40 years, in a different way, obviously, but so close. And then there's you sitting in the audience, and you bring something else to the party. And every night is so different and so exciting. And you never know when you're walking out for that first entrance, or the entrance to what seems like a nothing burger scene, or the 11 o'clock number. It's still, you have to show up. You have to be there in your soul. You have to, Uta Hagen once said, it's not finding the character, yourself in the character, it's finding the character in you. And I think that's so true. That would be my reason why I think the experience is so different. There's no separation. You're together.
I've been very lucky to have in my career to have worked in film and television and in theater, and I have loved both. I've had great experiences in both. In some ways, the acting is the same. Acting is acting, and figuring out a character and what you're doing and what your character wants, and those kind of things are the same in many ways. But to me, I guess the reason I'm drawn back to theater all the time, and maybe it's two things. One is that when you're on a film or a television show, everybody, the crew, everyone feels it. When you get the right take, you do a couple takes, and now we're on the third one, and when it goes right, everybody knows it. There is a feeling in the room that everybody knows it, and we're moving on, and we know it. And we never have to think about those words again, and we never have to think about anything in that scene again. It goes right out. In a theater, when we feel like we had a great night and everything went right, we have to come back tomorrow and do it again and try to recreate that without it being a copy of what we did before. So that is a really interesting thing to me, is to try to do it again and better without copying what we tried to do before. It's sort of feels monastic to me. It's like a goal we can never quite achieve. And so because we can never achieve it, it's constantly compelling, because there's nothing to do but keep moving forward and trying again. That's one thing I love about the theater. And the other thing I love about the theater, working in it, is the kind of connection that you feel with the other person on stage is just something that I have not felt in film and television in the same way. In film and television, if you mess up something, they say cut and you get to do it again, and it's well, we didn't do that one very well, let's do it again. On stage, it's a tightrope. People say that it's like a tightrope, and it is the connection that you have with the person you're acting with to sort of support one another. The kind of, many times I can think of the kind of look I've seen in someone's eye when something's gone wrong, and you're like, the two actors can see each other like, we've got to fix this. We got to together do this. There's a real reliance upon your partner that you're the only ones out there. So there's a real reliance upon one another that I think creates a kind of intimacy and closeness that I haven't felt in any other situation. And I think that feeling is it's pretty compelling.
I would add one more thing, and it's something you brought up before you started recording, Bill, and that's the play. It's about these words. It's about accomplishing a playwright's vision. And in film and television, it's as much about the editor and the director of photography and all of those things. But the theater is about the word and bringing the written word to life. And that's also really compelling to me.